All righty. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairymuppet. Welcome back to another Factorio stream. Hopefully everybody can hear me and see me. And hopefully the stream is working. It appears to be working. Just go over to stream health. It is excellent. I still haven't figured out why the hell it shapes me down to 1440p in Factorio. I'll figure it out one day, but to be honest, right now, my life's a bit crazy, so I haven't really been doing too much in that area. But here's the thing today. Excuse me. Just finished having breakfast, and unlike most mornings when I stream, I actually had enough time to finish most of my breakfast, like 3/4 of it. Whereas usually I just get a few bites and then I have to start streaming because I'm terrible at time management. But yeah, so last stream we basically did iron ore, and look at this, 4 full yellow belts of iron ore coming out of our factory. We got, and 2 full belts of crushed stone as well coming out of our factory. And we're feeding in 2 each of sapphirite and givelite and 1 full belt of mineral catalyst. And it goes into this huge crushing setup, and then it gets the sorting, which basically just pushes out pure iron ore. So does worry me a little bit, this setup, because eventually we do want to upgrade this to red belts, which means we're going to need a red belt of mineral catalyst for iron ore. And potentially a red belt of mineral catalyst for copper, and then tin and lead and blah, 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 blah. So we're going to need a lot of mineral catalyst, but the problem is this base right now is it could produce a bit more. Some of these are backed up, but only a couple of them are backed up. Yeah, see, they're just backed up a little bit. So if we just increase this to a red belt straight away, we wouldn't get a full red belt out of this. No way, because these guys are still struggling a bit, and that's with, you know, with a lot of this stuff. Okay, so maybe we just need more of these. I'm not sure if I actually calculated these for a full red belt of output, so we might just need to double these, but it's not too bad. We just move another copy over here or something like that and see how we go. But even then, like a full red belt of mineral catalyst, not going to be enough. So what is the plan for this stream? Well, I'd like to say we've finished off steel. That steel is okay now. I'd like to say that. I'm not sure if I can. Because we're taking in 3 full belts of iron ore at the moment. And it still looks a bit shaky. We have got most of the stuff done. And once we finish off our solar array, it will improve a lot. Although having said that, we will need more solar power soon-ish, I guess. We're doing okay at the moment. So it goes down to about 60-70%, and then it goes back up, which is okay. Once it starts going down to like 20 and 30%, and once the top side of this graph goes nearly all the way to the end before it finishes filling up the accumulator, that's when you need more solar. So we're okay at the moment, but we're getting close-ish. If we build another 4 or 5 modules and they start running at full speed, what's actually using up all our power at the moment? A lot of roboports. Of course, roboports using up a ton of power because we've got robots doing stuff all the time, which is how it should be. But yeah, those robots definitely do use a ton of power, which is okay because that is not really going to increase radically. The amount of power that robots take is going to increase a bit as they start building more stuff further out. And I do want them to start building more stuff. I do want to start increasing the rate at which we are building things. But yeah, let's go and start doing some stuff here. because I really would like... All right. So I got a few things I'd like to do this episode. The first is iron ingots, which will go here. So we have iron ore and then iron ingots, and then copper and probably tin, and then copper and tin ingots. And then that'll be the end of this block, and we'll do another block over here and we'll do lead. And so on and so forth. And I really just like to increase the rate at which we expand the base. Because here's the thing, right? We've been doing about 1 station per episode, which is fine when you're designing a new station. But we're going to be leaving... We're still going to be designing stations, but at the same time, we're going to be doing a lot more copy and pasting, like tin and lead and copper. They're just going to be copy and paste of iron ore. So right now I could just do this. Boom. And that's all we need. So that means we can build stations a lot quicker. The problem is making sure that our starter base keeps up with it. You can see we've only got half of the ore sorting facilities that we actually need to make that happen. And I'm sad to say that steel is probably going to be the downside. Even though we quote-unquote fix steel, let's put it this way. Steel is no longer going to be falling over because of slag backing up or crushed stone backing up or any of that jazz. But it's still not pushing out a lot. So, I mean, the next stage of fixing up steel is going to be building our own iron ingot station and then sending the iron ingots in instead of sending the ore in. Because I'm not sure if you remember, but for our iron ingot recipe, right now we're currently using this one. If we use processed iron and mix in a little bit of coke, then we get 50% extra yield on our iron ore to iron ingots, which is huge. But I want to check a few of these. So yeah, Roboports, they're struggling a little bit. They're not struggling too much, actually. It seems to be running reasonably full speed. The steel doesn't look that great. But we got 4 in there, and we got 10 more to go. So I'd love to see this just fully backed up, but then again, we are using all of the steel. One other thing I noticed, when I was playing around with this, because sometimes I go in and I play around a bit and sort of see what's going on. Now, I'm going to restrain these a little bit, and these guys aren't restrained at all, so I'm going to restrain these a lot. We're going to unrestrain them later on when we start building bigger... Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's just completely wasteful. Alright. Yeah, unrestrain them later on, we start building massive amounts of solar. But then again, eventually, we're going to build our own little base somewhere else. That'll take care of it. Speaking of which... okay. So we do have to wait for Transport Science Pack to get requested chests. So that'll be, eventually we will have a full-on bot mall built in the middle of the mega base. It'll be huge and we'll build whatever the hell we want in there. Oh, that doesn't actually sound too bad. Express transport belt, express inserters, probably take... Oh, no, that's interesting. They don't actually take lubricant, they just take brass. So you take a whole bunch of brass and advanced circuits, which I think we need advanced circuits for this one anyway. But yeah, that's actually not too hard. Like, logistic science. I mean, flying robot frames we've already got, and then it just takes a whole lot of brass. A whole lot of brass, and then fast transport belts, which we could already make them if we really wanted to. It just takes steel and bronze. Obviously, I've been holding off from actually making fast transport belts, because even though they would be nice in a couple of places, steel is still not what we'd call solid. But yeah, all right, construction bots are actually going nuts here. it's really that two-stage process. So you lay down the roboports and then you go to the next step. So having the roboports always be available and always be in a healthy state is absolutely crucial for our ability to expand the mega base fast. At a reasonable pace, let's say. I don't think we're ever going to expand it fast, but at a reasonable pace. Yeah, sure. Like, so much stuff in here needs steel. Like, this needs 15 steel. This needs... Or technically, this needs 55, or not even including the steel. Oh my god, this thing takes so much steel. And then, yeah, the bearings... I would say this almost needs like a full belt of steel coming in, but of course we don't even have a full belt for the entire base, so that's not really going to happen. But yeah, right now it is getting a decent... It's early enough that it gets a decent amount of steel. And then all the rest of them get sort of constrained quite a lot. So yeah. Iron ingots would help quite a lot. I think what I'm going to do... how much have we got left here? 404k. I mean, we could take this extra one and build another steel setup. Is there anything we could do to improve this? I don't really think so. I mean, well, first of all, we're not actually using all of the iron. We're only using 12 per second, when in fact we're putting 15. So we could include that a little. We could. Let's do the maths here. So we've got 45. If we add another one of these, then that's going to give us 48. So we could do a 3 to 4 splitter and then put it into 4 of these. And we'd pretty much be satisfying it with the way I've set it up at the moment. Okay, let's do that. Because that's nice and simple. It's a very nice, simple, easy way to expand. Goddamn trees. Alright. I'm gonna have to literally go down there. But... how many things am I missing? Let's see. So we're definitely missing 2 of these. 1 of these. We got 2 of these. No, it's not. I don't think we need that many induction furnaces. Yeah, we only need 1, but we do need 2 more blast furnaces. And then 3 of these guys. Technically, we could also upgrade all of these to Mark IIs instead. 1.5. Maybe that's a better idea. Just upgrade all of the blast furnaces to Mark II. And then we wouldn't need this extra setup because it would just work. I don't know. We've already got the blueprint laid down, so let's just go do it. Let's just go do it. We can update the whole thing once we get ingots actually come in. We definitely don't need that. Alright. That is awesome. Missing a flare stack. Of course, we're missing a flare stack. Missing a bunch of pipes. Of course. But we got everything else. And then we just need... gonna need to go up there and actually fix this up a little bit. So, balance a book, 3 to 4. Knock this back down to yellow. And obviously when we do a proper steel setup in the mega base, then we're not going to need to do this stuff anymore. We're going to have... Everything is going to be absolutely ratioed perfectly. Which we could just upgrade these to Mark II and then we wouldn't need to do this, but it's all good. So each of these takes in 12 iron ore per second. And we got 15. So right now we're spitting 45 into 4, which is 11 point something, and each of these take 12. So yeah, that's going to mean we use full utilization of 3 of those, and I'm still saving the 4th one for iron ore because, as we said before, we've only got 400k left. Eventually that's going to die, and as soon as that dies, I'm just going to thread this 4th belt right in there to making the iron ore. Even though technically we need 2 iron ore belts, but that should be enough. Okay, I assume this one's working. Taken a little bit of time to spin up, but it appears as though it is working. Alright, beautiful. Now we can move on. So what did we say we're going to do today? Iron ingots and coal, no, not coal ore, copper ore. So we got the iron ingot station already well on its way. Now we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stations. And I think we're going to use all of them because the math for the ingot is we put in 4 iron ore, we get out 6 iron ingots, and we need 1 coke because so processed ore is half of iron ore. So we take in 4 belts of iron ore, we get out 2 belts of processed ore. And then for every 2 belts of processed ore, processed iron, we need half a belt of coke. So that means 1 belt of coke will be enough for that entire setup. So that's 4 in, 1 belt of coke, and then 6 belts of iron ingots out. Which is amazing. And that's 6 belts of iron ingots out, and we're only putting in 2 belts of saphirite ore. So in terms of, and 2 belts of givelite. So yeah, it's definitely pretty awesome. All right. So one other thing I would like to do this episode, we'll get the ore setups going. So stirritite and crotinium, we'll get them going. And then one other thing I'd like to do, which I've been teasing for quite a long time at this point, is actually getting the display set up. So the fancy LED display system, which actually shows us exactly how much, and I'll put it over this way, exactly how our mega base is doing. Because we can definitely do that at this point. That should be doable. Okay. I have to do... no. Yeah, okay, so if we do one here, right here... I have to do one here. And another one here. And I don't want to build power poles on the main bus. So yeah, we'll do that here. Okay, so that's going to be stirritite. And yeah. It is a bit unfortunate though that we just quote unquote fixed up steel, but I'm still a bit too scared to go to red belts everywhere because it's just, the need is just going to be so much for that stuff. All right. Let's just do this. It's kind of a bit ad hoc the way we're doing all these, but it should be fine. I'll extend that one later on. Still a bit low on these guys, but we can start. I've already done all the stations for this one correctly, so that is fine. Wait, let's just double check. So you are stereotype. Okay. Oh, and I can just paste the same recipe. And no way, that's not good. That's really not good. That's the wrong one. Okay, there we go. That's better. Oh, damn it. Okay, we have to do this. And horizontal. So you can't really just copy and paste everything, but you can almost copy and paste everything. This is the thing I don't like about Crotinium, is that Crotinium looks extremely, extremely close to crushed stone. And if you have a look at it, you're like, which one's which? I can't really tell. Anyway, that's done. And then these ones just go over to the pure copper ore recipe. For some reason, they're building the further ones first. I'm not sure why. But yeah, you can see how this... Look, we already need... So these guys are all just waiting at the depot because there's obviously just not enough mineral catalyst for them at the moment. Because they're only putting out one belt. And iron ore right now is using up a full belt. So it still wants more. And I'm not sure exactly how the train priority works. Because these have the same priority. Is the next train going to come straight to iron ore? Is it going to spread it around evenly to copper ore? Well, I was going to say eventually these will fill up, but that's going to take a while. It's going to take a long while. We're still using all of the iron ore we can get our hands on here. So it's not going to back up for a long time. We may have grossly... Oh, what's going on here? Okay, all right. Well, we've fully filled up one side of it. Well, I'm all the way over here, aren't I? All right, we're gonna have to fix that up, but that's good. That's very nice. So actually, we're doing over half a belt of steel at the moment, which is nice to see. So, yeah. I mean, mineral catalyst, we may have to just start pushing that a little bit harder because we're definitely not producing enough. We'll see though. I think one of the things I really want to do, other than iron ingots, which I'd love to get finished off, is the display monitor for the entire base. Once we've got the display monitor up, then we can sort of be a little bit more... Actually, you can just do that, can't you? Okay. Now there's no way in hell that's going to be an actual full belt. It's just busy draining out some stuff from here. But eventually that's going to run out, and... I could put a splitter in here, but I don't think it's really necessary. Maybe up. Oh, this is... Yeah, so this is 1 per second, so that's 12 per second max we're going to be putting out. So there's no way it's ever going to be a full belt of steel. Which is okay. Nothing else is backing up in here. Haven't done anything else. Like the iron ingots are going through, the steel ingots are going through. Yeah. Nothing else is getting backed up. It's all go every single day. What was I talking about? Mineral catalyst continues to be, I wouldn't say the bane of our existence, but it will be. It will be at some point. Having said that, let's get some, we'll continue working on the mines in the background. But I think the main thing that I want to work on this episode is going to be the display counter, because, yeah, I'm looking at this mineral catalyst and I'm like, okay, do we have too much crushed stone? Like these guys, are they... Because I can go over here, I can say, all right, 1 and 1, 0, 0. Okay, so we don't have too much crushed stone. Our crushed stone is doing okay. But if we're like running out of mineral catalyst and we're overloading on crushed stone, then we just build another mineral catalyst setup. Copy and paste the existing one. But then again, we did the math and we figured out last episode that the crushed stone that gets produced by the ore setups is not going to be anywhere near enough for our mineral catalyst build. And there goes my bots, using up all of my inventory. What did I come over here for? Alright, I think right here is actually where we're going to build it. So we need lights. We need a radar and we need lights. I think that's all we need. For our magical display. Oh, and we need one single arithmetic communicator. I don't think I have a radar, so let's whack that one down. Actually, let's just steal one, so I don't have to wait for my crafting queue to produce one. What I might actually want to do, I'll do it in a second, but yeah, this guy with these signals. We'll probably, when we put the radar down for our display setup, we'll put it down here. We'll leave a little bit of room for extra belts. Because obviously, as we said before, it'll take all the way until logistics science for us to actually get a transport science. So it'll take all the way for us to get to transport science before we can get a proper mega mall, bot-based mall. So yeah, that's going to be quite a while. So I'm going to copy that guy over here. I love to do this in a way that won't actually result in us losing this signal. Alright, no, so you go directly in there, you don't go there. And we'll also just do that. So, okay. And then we're going to delete this and instantly place it down. Hopefully that didn't cause too much chaos, but... So then we get the green signal as well. And then we take Mr. Arithmetic Communicator. Arithmetic Combinator, sorry. And we do a power pole down there, so... Red and green. So we want each. We want to basically, we want to take the green and subtract the red. And we're going to get these C and these F signals in there as well. I don't really care too much because it's not going to matter. All right. So there we go. So that is the status of our entire network. And now we take that and we put it out. Just put out. It doesn't really matter which wire. Green. Actually, maybe red, because red is the wire that usually gets used for everything. So it kind of fits in more with the brown. So substations wouldn't be a bad idea here. Yeah, that really wouldn't be a bad idea here. Alright. We have to figure out a way of doing this nicely. Alright, because I do want to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright. Now we need a display. I think it is display panel. Yeah, we go. So your icon is going to be sapphire ore. Alright. Alright. You are going to be let me just think about, okay. Enable, disable, sapphire ore greater than or equal to 1. And I want you to be green. You're not green. Well, I want you to be green. Okay. I may have to do... Yeah, I'm not sure how that... I see. It wants to actually... how do we just force it to be green? Can I just enter a number in here? Like, not a signal, but just a number? We might have to start Googling this. I mean, I could put in 9, but that's just the signal 9. That's not the actual color mapping. Red, green, and blue signals. That's the problem, because we're going to be... Alright, you know what? We're going to have to do some funky stuff in here. Give me another one of these. No, I don't want it there. I want it here. And it's slightly annoying, but... Alright. So... Packed RGB. That sounds really complicated. Color components. Okay. Why are these turning on? I haven't even set you to be anything. Oh, they're just set based on night and all that. So, all right. So you are... All right. So if we set green to be 255. And we set red to be 255. Okay, so this is green now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. Less than or equal to -1, and that is going to be red, and that's going to be 0. And -2. And you can probably guess, but I'm going to be blueprinting this thing using some parameters. And the only thing I don't like about this is that the power pole setup is not great. Yeah, we're really going to have to think of some way of doing that. Like, going to need to do some like super huge substations or something like that. All right. Blueprint this. Parameterize. This is going to be I'll just call it entity. But yeah, all right. So the fact that steel is actually backing up makes me very happy. I mean, of course it was going to happen at some point, but the fact that it has happened this early gives me a lot of hope because that we can actually start backing up on the starter base. Because it was really concerning me, the fact that the mega base is building 4 full belts of iron ore, and then the starter base was using 3 of them. Like, that was concerning me. And it was going to use 4 because eventually our sapphirite patch is going to die. And when it dies, we're going to need this 4th belt of iron over here. So the fact that it was going to be using 4 iron ore continuously was concerning. But now it's kind of backed up. It's kind of going a bit more loosey-goosey, which is very nice. All right. So, you got some iron ore here. We're just standing here waiting for more belts to come in, then we'll finish this belt off. Display. Oh, we got some trains as well, which we can set up. Let's make this one. Stereotype. So you're going to go to stereotype load until you're full, and you're going to go to stereotype unload until you're empty. Gonna go refuel, and gonna go depot. In case you're not aware, the depot is just so that if you're empty and the load station doesn't have enough available, then instead of just sitting at the unload station and doing nothing, twiddling your thumbs, the train will go to a depot instead. Load full, and then unload, empty, refuel, and depot. So we can see that in action in just a second. So if we go over here, yeah. So it's obviously realized that there is no load station that has Crotinium in it. So it's saying, all right, whatever, I'll go to the depot instead. And it'll just sit there and it'll just check, like every fraction of a second or something, it'll check, is there a load station available? No, stay in the depot. And it'll just sit there and never move. Well, it'll wait for 5 seconds, then it'll check again, because we've got the wait in there. It's going to look. No. All right, goes back to the depot. All right. Beautiful. And... oh, we've actually got some stereotype going in there. That's beautiful. All right. I can see all of the demand for stereotype has actually gone down. I'm not sure why it should have gone down. Oh, I see. It's this. Okay, I just realized I've done this incorrectly. This is not the way that I originally wanted to do this. We're gonna have to go back and fix this. But it's not actually a hard fix. So we just need to go here. And then so well, let's you know what, while I'm here, let's just do this. What? No, that's not what I wanted. Because I don't just want to add and subtract the signals, I just realized. I actually want them to be independent. Okay. And now this one is going to be if it's greater than or equal to 1. Alright. We don't need that anymore. We don't need that anymore. Green, red. Okay. We still need this. Okay. You get to go over here. So yeah, this is going to be 1. Four. So now when we do it, we can see what the actual status is, because sometimes you have a huge amount of stations requesting something and a huge amount of stations providing something, and you're like, why have I got 10 stations available and 10 stations requesting? It means you don't have enough trains. So that's very useful information. Whereas if you just have a minus in there, then suddenly you just don't have anything. Alright, so we can get rid of all of these. And okay. So now upgrade parameter entity. And we still have to put these up manually. We'll think about that later. Yeah, so now this will be a little bit better. But we'll see once it actually gets put down. Alright. I got 500 belts again. Let's go finish off the Crotinium belt system. And then, once this is finished off, we will go ahead and we'll start working on iron ingots in earnest. Actually give it a good crack to see if we can finish it off this stream. Please tell me I have enough belts here. I don't think I do. Damn it. Alright. Where's the nearest road port? It's right over here. Ah, we were so close to getting that done. So close. Alright. Yeah. Alright, yeah. So that makes a bit more sense. So we got 1 available and we got 2 requesting. Now these ones are just full 10-10, so they're fine. We're not going to track anything beyond 10 because we don't really need to. And you don't really track any negatives beyond it because you don't really need to, but... Alright. So we're going to sit there collecting belts and then we're going to move on to here. So... Oh, these bloody trees everywhere, man. Just trees, the bane of my existence. We would actually loop that one all the way around if we really wanted to, but that seems a bit excessive. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to sneak this one out here. Like that. Like that. And then this one can just go up here. It's probably on the wrong end of where it needs to be, but it's okay. Alrighty. So there we go. We've got 4 belts of iron ore and 1 belt of coke. So we need, obviously we're going to plan for this to be red belts. So let's have a look at the recipes that we're going to be using. And at some day I will finish highlighting all of these so it stops showing up, but yeah. We'll do a little bit every stream, just sort of clearing these guys out. Because they need to be done at some point, but we've got to start making progress as well. So, iron ingots. So we need all processor ones. Okay. All processor ones. Alright. One, two, three. Alright, how much are you doing? 1 per second. Alright. So, we're going to do like this. Usually you don't want to actually hook these up. Actually, we're not going to hook them up straight away because usually it's a bad idea because you want to start moving stuff around a bit and then it becomes very awkward. So it takes 2 per second, so that's fine. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 15 on each side, and that's going to be enough to satisfy a red belt. And then the final one. Okay. And then the second one, which is probably a slight waste of power poles, but I think we can afford power poles at this stage of the game. Afford to waste a few of them. Alright. Actually, I'll move this one down 1. And then this guy goes through the middle, so that's our coke. Now we just need to actually create the ingots. It's not showing me the recipe, is it? Of course it's not. Sometimes it doesn't show you the recipe in that view. Okay, so just takes a blast furnace. We're pulling in twice as much coke as we need for the actual recipe. So it should be fine to use coke as the actual fuel for this. It's going to be interesting for other particular things, but all right. Now this is where it gets really interesting because we're producing 6 full belts. So this row report is kind of going to be in the way. All right. It's okay. It's 1 output belt, 2 output belts, and there's our coke. 3 output belts, and there's the input belt. We might want to start whacking in the fast inserters here. So if I do a fast inserter, 4.44. Okay, so that's 4.44. How do we want to do this, actually? Well, let's have a look. All right, so we got a full belt of processed iron here. So we need 10 of these. Now, 10 means we're going to be putting out 90 is there a nice way we can get... It's not really nice to put 10 machines outputs onto 3 belts. So we may just want to do this. Yeah, we can't do that. We can't quite do that. We still need more upgrades to do the extreme long version of these. So what? I mean, we can just take the easy way out, which is going to be have an inserter for each one. Power pole there, power pole there. Power pole there. All right, so that's the easy way to do it. And then we just need 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. And we might want to move this a little bit. Let's actually see. Can we put it... Big electric pole. Do that there. If we do a horizontal flip. That's not right. What am I missing here? Okay. That's what I'm missing. So I don't know why I flipped it too early. So we put that like so. We flip it. Okay. All right. I can live with that. So that one is going to be one of the inputs, one of the processed ore. This one here is going to be the coke. And then this one here is going to be the other processed ore. All right, and then we got 6 belts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 processed ore. And we just need to feed them all into trains. And we've actually got some iron ore here, which is really nice. Because it means that it's not all just being sent over to the starter base. Yeah, well, these requests will jump on every time, but it doesn't mean we're out. It just means that we got 1 train currently going there. Yeah, Ceratite's looking a bit healthier. So, yeah, everything's going pretty well so far. That power pole needs to go. Unfortunately, I think the way that a lot of these ores are made is different. Is like different for each one. So we can't, I'm not sure that we can really copy this setup for like copper ore or anything like that. We might need to, well, for copper ore, we'll need to figure out what sort of special way there is for doing that. But I'm pretty happy with how this one came together. Oh, please do not go off into the middle of nowhere and build belts that I didn't ask you to. Please go over here and build these belts. Ah, yes, there we go. That's it. That's it. That's beautiful. All right. So that's Protinium done. A little bit weird here because technically you want the blue one down further, but it kind of messes with the way the belt goes around. It's all right though. It's all good. So we're just going to let the bots go here. Theoretically, we've got everything we need for this to happen, except the mineral catalyst, which will never get delivered. Oh, well, eventually it'll get delivered, but only once this one starts backing up, which is a good sign. They're full and they've got nowhere to go. That's a very good sign. But yeah, having these actually fill up is going to take forever. I could artificially stop them, but then again, look, there are certain circumstances where you want to artificially stop some outputs where you don't need a lot of them. Iron ore is not really one of them. Like coke and carbon, not even some of it. If there's something that you're building stuff you don't think you're going to need a ton of, then maybe you could. But yeah. Yeah, iron ore is not really one of them. Iron ore is one of the least products that I would ever consider actually stopping, just caching it. I mean, look, if you got a perfectly running base, then yeah, maybe you could. Maybe you could cache it, but I mean, well, I suppose uncache is the word, like not cache it as much. But anyway, we're going to let that run for a while, and we're just going to accept the fact that mineral catalyst is kind of at the moment. Eventually iron ore will back up and then we'll be fine. And meanwhile, we're going to have all the resources, all the other resources we need for copper, and we can start caching iron ore later on if we need to. For now, let's get these guys going. Ore sorting, the ore processors, we definitely don't have at the moment. We can make them here though. This looks like a very nice spot. Should have everything we need here. Clay brick, steel gear, bronze wheel. Alright, beautiful. Drop position. Give me one stack. It might be time for me to actually automate passive provider chests. I mean, I say that, it's definitely way past time for me to do that, but I've been handcrafting the bloody things for a very long time, but whatever. Alright, and then boiler 2's... Blast furnace 2, sorry. Of course it takes blast furnace 1, which takes a whole bunch of these stupid low-level components. Which we don't have easily over here. It's alright, we can just thread them in. So I'm going to leave this machine for something else. And then this one is going to be... No, actually... No, what am I saying? Blast furnace 1, blast furnace 2. Steel pipe... Okay, so you need both of these. You also need this. And you pick up that and put it in here. And what do you need? Iron pipes, stone brick. This guy's annoying. This guy's very annoying in this position. Basic circuit boards. We have to put a iron. Wait, no, this is steel pipe. Okay, we need iron pipes. We got iron pipes over here. There, that's not much help to us. Alright, iron pipe. Alright. Here is where we start to get a little bit spaghetti. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. Alright, so what do we need here? Basic circuit boards and stone bricks. Okay. So you are going to be stone bricks. I can't remember where they are. Stone bricks. Pick up from there. And you're going to be basic circuit boards. Which I can't remember. Here they are. Pick up there. There we go. That's the jankiest spaghetti you have ever seen. We're not even using splitters, we're just using inserters. And what we could do is actually drop that there, and then we don't even need this belt. That's a thing of beauty. All right. So that is going to give us some blast furnaces, which we're just putting in a one-stack chest. All right, we're already starting to see some ore processors get used. Blast furnace 2's being made. Okay, that's beautiful. I don't think we actually have a coke train set up yet. Let's get a few of those. I think I'm always going to build 3 trains for each good. It may screw us in the long term if we start running out of depot space, but then again, depots will only be used when we're low on a good. If we're full on a good, then the trains will be in the loading station or in the loading station backup. That's the depot. That's not the trains we just built. All right. What was I going to check? There was something I was going to check. I can't remember what it was. There was some good being produced. I really don't know. We're using a lot of this. What's going on here? What is going on here? Not enough of this stuff. Not enough of this stuff. Backed up on mud. Ha! Okay, well, I guess that was a plan when it first came along. Not a great plan now. Not a great plan anymore. Alright, well, let's go over and fix that, because that is hilariously not good. Hilariously not good. There's a way to convert mud into landfill, isn't there? Not that we need landfill, but what else can we do with mud? Okay, we can convert mud and water into viscous mud water, and this uses viscous mud water. Right, so maybe we should just be doing that. Okay. How do we do that again? Washing. Just give me a washing plant, please. Just give me one. And now I can't find it. Here we go. Oh, okay, so it doesn't happen in there. Liquefier. Do we have liquefier Mark IIs? You know what? I'm going to build a couple. Not sure if we got them in the base, in the starter base, but we're going to build a couple. Okay. Now, oh God, where's this recipe? Okay. 4.5 per second. How much do these produce? 0.22. Okay, so they produce very little mud, and we're going to be using a ton of it. So that should drain the chests over time. And then we need a tank. These are actually a little bit too close to each other now. We can just do this. A little bit janky, but whatever. We make it work. Okay. Give me a nice big fluid tank. Where are the fluid tanks? They're always somewhere that I don't know where they are. Okay. Hopefully that's the right spot for that. That one's still connecting out. That one's still getting an input. Alright, beautiful. Give me that giant tank. Alright. And enable disable if viscous mud water is less than 1000. Alrighty. Beautiful. Probably should have done that in the first place, but anyway, it is what it is. So those chests will take a very long time. But then again, this one takes 4.5, and so it kind of takes 9. Yes, it's alright. It's alright. We could do something like a belt balancer there, but I'm not sure I really care. Alright. Let's get these guys going. Load full cargo. Unload. You can see it's got listed next to the number, which is the amount of trains. Is it the amount of trains at that station? Or the amount of trains associated with that station? It's a bit, because it's 4 and 2, so I think it's just the amount of ones associated with that station. Or currently going to that station. Refuel depot, and then that's some coke. Which is over here. Alright, and we got plenty of coke, because this one's been building up for a while, so it's like six full stations. Alrighty, so I feel like we can turn this guy on now. It'll take a little while for the coke to show up. How's this one? It's going pretty good. Got a little bit of crushed stone in there before it backed up. Yeah, looks pretty nice. How's our status going? Pretty good. Crotinium starting to get loaded in. Starting to look a bit more healthy, and starting to get some trains actually picking stuff up, which I'm very happy about. Only 3 trains, of course, so that's why there's only 3 being loaded, but that is a-okay at the moment. You know what? Let's start getting some more stuff going on here. So we'll do this one, which is going to be iron ore, copper ore, tin ore, lead ore, and then we'll just leave that open for now, and then we're going to do, could actually just do another complete row using another radar if we really wanted to. I'm not sure if we actually want to go that far. Might be simpler just to drag this across here. And then we just do another one here. I feel like this is a good place to start doing the liquids. Have liquids over here and all this other miscellaneous stuff. So sulfuric wastewater. We've got a whole bunch of different wastewaters. I'm not sure if we just want to group them all up. Well, we can move this stuff around later. I think we can just drag and drop it wherever we want. Sulfur dioxide, sulfuric acid. And because of the numbering system we're using, we can just use the same recipe. We don't need to do anything different for the fluids or the liquids or anything like that. And then while I'm here, coal, coke, and carbon. Yeah, that's all right. Love to see all of those green lights everywhere. That's sulfur dioxide, so we don't care if it's red. Yeah, I mean, look, we got power poles in the way, but the important thing is we look at the green and we see what's going on there. So yeah, it's very nice. It's very, very nice. All this status that we're seeing. Sulfuric acid is probably going to go all the way up to 10. Crushed stone wouldn't be a bad thing to put somewhere as well. Crushed stone and slag. We could put them here. This is kind of mixing things in a way that I don't really like to mix them. I feel like we're going to be at some point re-evaluating like where all of these go in a big way. Sort of a better layout, but I can't really think of anything right now. And it's okay at the moment. It's okay. All right. So, yeah, how do we get mineral catalyst over to there? Because this is still 0 out of 1. This is still going full speed. And these are, they're filling up. They're about half full, some of them. This one's not half full. So yeah, that's actually a very interesting question. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to set this one up to a 60 priority. Just so we can see it go through. Just so we can make sure that the station's actually working. And then after that, I'll probably set it back to 50. It's got to be the actual location of the train station. It's not going to be... See, this train just... Oh, can I select this train? It's going too fast. I selected the wagon, but that one's definitely going off to a depot now. Or is it? Is it going to a depot, or is it going over to one of these? No, it's going over to a depot. It looked for a load station, couldn't find one, and then said, okay, going off to a depot. Alright. So hopefully next time we get some mineral catalyst going out, it'll go in here instead. And hopefully, I mean, this is 9.9k, so this has already got more than a full train loads in it, so it should be fine. We could also reduce... I mean, technically we could reduce this, but it wouldn't make a difference. It really wouldn't, because we'd get one mineral catalyst load over to the other train station, and then it would just get everything in this one again. Yeah. So this is the downside of having a mega base where you don't limit the output chest size, is that you end up with things like this happening. Oh, right. We got some inserter troubles here. None of the inserter configurations I set up got persisted. That's very interesting. Shift in. We want the top one to be shift in. Okay. You are shift in. You are normal. You are shift in but long. And you are long. And you are also long. Alright. So that should be good. 3, 4, 5, 6. Thankfully this machine's only outputting one type of good. I don't know why those inserter setups got messed up. It's very, very strange. Horizontal. Did I do that correctly? I think I did. It looks like it's spitting stuff out. Oh, look at this. Okay, this machine's totally stalled. What's happening here? Ah, of course, because I built this for red belts. So we're outputting way too much. But then again, eventually this should stabilize itself because we're only putting a yellow belt of processed iron in there. But yeah, look at that. 4 full belts coming in, 6 full belts of iron ingots going out. We could start to transition the starter base over to using the iron ingots if we really wanted to. Not super fussed about it. Come on, give me a train here. Waiting at load. All right, so it's loading up this train. Let's just make sure that this one goes to copper. It should, because it's got a higher priority now. And I think the station had a higher priority before this train got sent off to the load. Although I think it probably calculates the station it needs to go to at the point where it leaves the load station. So it probably doesn't matter if we did it beforehand. As long as we could change it right now. Back down to 50 and it would go to the iron ore. But I think this one should go to copper ore now. And yes, that will be excellent, excellent, excellent. We just got to wait for it to fill up. So yeah, we did, all 3 of my goals got accomplished today. So we got copper ore finished off. We got iron ingots finished off. And we got our display panel finished off. Well, display panel isn't finished off, but we got it working. And because it's working, we can expand it whenever we want. All right. Go on, buddy. Copper ore. We need you to go to copper ore because we desperately need to test. Look at these trees everywhere, man. Absolutely everywhere. All right. It's switched lanes there. Very nice. I love to see that. And it's skipping the iron ore. It's going straight to copper ore. Beautiful. All right. And this one train of mineral catalyst should be enough to fill up 4 trains worth of copper ore. Not that we need copper ore in the starter base. So I'm definitely going to return this down to 50. But yeah. As a proof of concept, we should be seeing this go through beautifully now. It's interesting. Always got to test these guys to make sure they're working properly. I'll double check. Iron ingots. They stack up to 200 as well, which is very nice. Yeah, that's just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You can see these stones are starting to go a bit green now, which is very nice. All right, mineral catalyst going through. Let's see that copper ore coming out. Excellent, 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 excellent. So yeah, in the last 10 minutes, let's just talk about our goals, I guess, our immediate goals, because right now we're just building stations and we're cleaning up steel. Steel is looking pretty solid. I mean, everything in the starter base, we went from not having enough steel to having backed up on all the products that we wanted to make. Like this one's already backed up, already at 10, already at 10 here, they're already backed up. So right now we're actually sitting idle, which is not good because we definitely do not want to be idle for too long. We want to keep this train a-rolling. I mean, you can always just paint with that sort of recipe. It's really awesome. Okay, straight rail here, straight rail there. And then we do straight here, straight here, straight here. Straight here. And then T intersection here, here, and here. And we'll leave the rest for now. I'm not sure what else we're going to do over there. Eventually, to have a nice structure, we probably want to do iron plates up here. Geez, we've got tons of ore everywhere. I've said it a few times. I'll say it again. Once we get this infinite ore going in the middle, this may be all we need for the entire mega base, this little patch here. So I'm not too concerned about building over these patches. But let's have a look. So straight, 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 straight. And that'll be enough. And then we'll do a T intersection here, here, and here, here, and then here. So we do have 3 in the middle. So I'm not going to build these 3 in the middle because there's no point, because I haven't even figured out what I want these for. Haven't even figured out what I want these for yet. All I know is I want iron ore, iron ingots, iron plates. That's basically my strategy. And yeah, there's going to be iron, copper, probably tin ore here, so we can start to build this up. Actually, we can start to build the tin. Need to get rid of that power pole. Get that going. Get the robots doing something useful, and we'll put the stations in a little while. And we'll keep the robots actually doing something useful in the background. So our eventual goal is obviously to get the mega base doing blue science for us. So red, green, and blue science. So red science, let's just do a little bit of a checklist here. Red science, iron gear wheels. Yeah, I mean, technically you could have a station doing iron gear wheels. No, it's not going to do that. We're just going to make them locally. Most products we're going to just make locally. Basic circuit boards, we will need a station for this. So we need wooden boards, which means we need wood. Maybe that's what we focus on next week, is making a wood station. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be fun. Sarcastic. And we will need copper wire for that. Copper wire is actually going to be surprisingly a long way. I'm not saying a long way. I mean, we probably want to use copper wire coils. Because this is a 1 to 2. This is a 4 to 16, so it's a 1 to 4. So copper wire coils are much more efficient to transport. But yeah, in terms of megabase, it's actually going to be a little bit of a while to get there, because we need to get, well, we almost to the point where we got copper ore. We basically got copper ore. Okay, so this just takes oxygen. That's easy. Oxygen we can just pull out of the air. So we can do this ingot recipe pretty damn easily, and it'll be almost the same. It actually will be pretty much the same as the iron ingots one, because we will still need fuel for the blast furnaces. So we'll probably take in carbon, because carbon is a bit more fuel efficient than coke. We could also feed in coal if we just don't want to bother, because carbon does require some processing. So we don't want to put too much stress on the carbon if we don't need to, because we'll need a ton of carbon for other things. So maybe just coal, but yeah. And then what we'll probably do is we'll produce copper ingots, and then we'll have a station that makes... We could probably have one station that makes a copper sheet, because we can make copper sheet coils, because they stack to 200, so they're great for transport. And then a copper wire coil, which also stacks to 200. So we can make both of these in the same station. Yeah, we take in copper ingots and we make copper sheet coils and copper wire coils. And when we make those sort of things, that's the sort of situation where I might be like, okay, let's constrain the output station warehouse, because they're just so, like the copper sheet coils, they're so massively constrained. Where it produces a ton of stuff. So you really don't want to just absolutely blow up the warehouse with so many of those. And iron sheet coils as well. We can just make... We could potentially... Here's an interesting thing. We could potentially make iron sheet coils and steel sheet coils in the same station. Because I'm not going to do anything crazy like silicon ingots or manganese ingots. Maybe later on, when we got the recipe to make silicon ingots using actual... Make silicon ore using the better recipe. But we need blue science to get that. So maybe later on we'll do that. So okay, so maybe I'll leave molten steel. I'll leave steel having its own station. Steel will have its own station. That gives us options to mess around with silicon ingots later on. So we get tons of efficient steel. Yeah, but we're going to need stations for all of these. We're going to need a station for solder. And we're going to need stations for lead ingots and stuff like that. And then we can send the lead ingots, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we got totally sidetracked there. But anyway, these guys... basic electronics... components, do you put them on a train or not, or do you just make them locally? That's sort of the big question, and I think the answer is probably no. You probably just make them locally whenever you need them, because tinned wire, I mean, if we start sending around the tinned wire coil in a train, that's incredibly efficient in terms of how many trains you need. To make 5 basic electronic components, you basically need half of a wire coil and 1 carbon. So it's 1.5 trains versus 5 trains. So yeah, it makes sense just to make basic electronic components locally wherever you need them. And just take 1.5 trains instead of 5 trains for the same amount. And I got so much crap in my inventory. So yeah. That's pretty good. Look at all of this good stuff here. Oh my god, we got so much crushed stone. We got an incredible amount. How much of this crap do we have? Alright, let me just sanity check this. Ton of slag, ton of crushed stone. Okay. We may have to expand this to be red belts. This may be the first thing that we expand to have red belts, because I was not expecting to have this much crushed stone just sitting around. Alright, let's just double check. These guys... Okay, that's 33k. That's a lot. Alright, so... Alright. Well, I didn't expect us to have this much crushed stone, so maybe next episode... Alright, so next episode I think we got 2 things that we need to concentrate on. The first thing is expanding this up to red belts. Get this one up to red belts. We've got a decent amount of steel now, so we can start making red belts. Get this one up to red belts. get it outputting a full red belt of mineral catalyst, and that'll make me very happy. The second thing is wood. We need to figure out how to do wood in the mega base. Do we need to use the same terrible setup that we had in the old base? Can we even do this setup again? Because this setup requires these stupid seed generators, and to make the seed generators you actually need a special desert tree. Like you need a swamp tree or a desert tree or a temperate tree. How many trees do I actually have? I got 2 desert trees, 2 temperate trees. So 4 of these. It doesn't sound like... And I also got this... Where is it? My garden chest over here. No, it doesn't look like there's... Oh, there is 1 temperate tree over there. Is that within row report range? It is within row report range. So if I do that... I need some steel. Okay. I'm just going to throw those out there. The robots will grab them, fill in that chest, and that'll give us 5 tree seed generators. Yeah, it's okay. It's alright. The important thing is, I think this is the very first episode ever where we actually got 2 mega base stations up and running. And our robots are hanging on. They're doing a pretty good job. They're even starting to build a 3rd one. They're all doing a great job. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. And we'll just continue to push as far as we go. The really important thing about the mega base is making sure that the stations are in a decent position. And we're going to try and go wide for similar things like all the ores and stuff like that. But if we need like another iron ore, we're just going to keep going wide. Maybe I'll leave the left side for sort of like going wide. Like if we need like a 2nd or 3rd iron ore, we'll start building them over here. But the main ones we'll just build over here. Like this will be tin, lead we'll just build down here or something like that. And then we'll go up here, we'll do the ingots, we'll do the actual plates, and then we'll do components or something like that. So it'll be a very serious sort of mega base, where we're not just going to shove things in as close as possible. We're going to give ourselves a ton of room to spread out. And we're not going to say, oh, I need a station now, let's just build it here. We're just going to push up as far as we need to go. And hopefully travel time is not going to be a concern. I'm hoping it's not, but we'll have to see. I mean, we can always just build more trains if we need to. And we've got a 4-lane train network. So train congestion with 1-1 trains. Maybe I'm going overkill, but I don't think train congestion is ever going to be a concern. And we're not even using 4-way intersections except there's one right here. Everything else is T intersections, which are very, very excellent for congestion purposes. Oh, that's what I wanted to double check. I kept forgetting. Train wagons, 10 of them. Beautiful. All right, so that's all good. We're kind of... This one's slowing down again because of this, because it just uses so much. We're not low on steel, it's just the processing of steel. Like these bearings. It just takes so many of these bloody things. You know what? I'm gonna upgrade you guys. Because this is definitely building enough bearings, we're just not transporting them fast enough. So let's get an upgrade there. And then we'll be going beautifully. And I'm definitely over time here, but I'm going to wait for these inserters to get upgraded. Oh, actually we're out of construction bots. Alright. We're using up all 2,000 of them. Alright, so that might take a while. Alright, well in that case we're not going to wait for them. But anyway, we're going to go over here. We're going to see a beautiful view. We're not actually, because we ran out of mineral catalyst, but there we go. 4 train stations with 8k copper ore in them, approximately. So we know this setup worked beautifully. Here we go. We've finished off here. Look at this. This is what we're going to finish off at. 6 full belts of iron ingots. 4 full belts of iron ore. And we're only using it would be just over half a belt of coke. But that is a thing of beauty. That is why you make a mega base, so you can see sites like this. And these are actually filling up quite quickly. So, of course, our iron ore is going to be draining like crazy. Well, actually, no. No, it's not draining like crazy. But they are being used like crazy. And it's beautiful. I mean, look, we're going to spend like 2 hours getting wood set up. And by the time we finish getting wood set up, these will all be filled. The iron ore will be filled. Mineral catalyst will be going everywhere. But anyway, that's for next week. So, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this stream. And I will catch you guys later.